Welcome to our virtual yoga class. Let's go ahead and begin class by laying on our backs. Start to gather your inhale and your exhale. Notice the quality of your inhale and the quality of your exhale. No judgment, just noticing. And in order to start to ground yourself in your practice, take a powerful inhale, exhale, sigh it out. Here you notice immediate sensations of letting go, releasing tension. Some of these feelings are more ambiguous, and some of these feelings are more explicit in your body, like your ribcage expanding, belly expanding. You'll scan your neck, shoulders, down the length of your spine to your hips, heels and toes, softening. Noticing that for the rest of class, our breath is our focusing tool as we work on our physical, mental, emotional body. Take a full inhale and exhale. This is the same breath you can go back to throughout your day. You're practicing that deep breath. Two more breaths here. Softening the body, scanning the body, shifting your attention to your breath. If you ever have trouble focusing throughout the class, just lengthen your inhale and exhale longer than you're accustomed to. We're going to lift our arms up overhead, interlace your fingers, press our hands towards the back of the room, point our toes, gentle stretch throughout the body. You want to extend out throughout the arms, lengthen the spine, and even lift your abdomen up towards the ceiling. A gentle stretch there for the abdomen. Inhale here. Exhale. Release your hands. We're going to bend our knees, grab our knee with our hands, round your spine, forehead towards your knee, drop your head back. So you'll move here a few times, or you'll lift up your forehead up towards your knee a few times. Make sure that you're pressing your left foot towards the front of the room, and you're tucking your chin firmly towards your chest. You want to get that stretch and opening throughout the upper back and neck. You can do that by tucking your chin towards your chest. Your core is doing most of the work here, lifting you up. Keep your elbows close to your torso. One more round and remain there an extra breath. You're holding the pose, but you're not holding the breath. And then drop your head back, opposite side. Bend your left knee, grab your knee, round your spine. Drop your head back. Press that right foot towards the front of the room. You're flexing that right foot. Create some more stability, activates the core. Move at your own pace. On that next round, we're going to remain there. Hold, chin towards chest. Stay there at least 2 breath cycles, and then release. Bend both knees. We're going to rock a little bit to the left, to the right here. And then drop that left leg onto the floor. Let's lift our right leg up towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers right behind your knee or your thigh. Now rotate your ankle clockwise or counterclockwise. We tend to not pay attention to our toes or heels, balls of our feet. Take a moment there. We're supported by our feet throughout the day. You can always press your heel a little bit more up towards the ceiling. Point your toes downwards towards you. Then intensify a stretch right around the calves behind the knee. Intentional breath here. And the next couple of breaths, we'll start to bring our leg closer towards our belly or our chest. You're extending the leg at the same time. You can always have a little bend of the knee. You're focusing on your hamstrings. Now you can shift a stretch into the hips and glutes, even your lower back, by dropping your leg towards the left. You can hold there. It's going to activate different muscle groups. Here, feel here. You can either remain here, you can sway back and forth. If it feels better for you to open up your leg towards the right, go ahead and do that. Or you can go between both, or just bring your leg closer towards you. So this is a creative space where you're really feeling into your lower body. They tend to be very tight around hips and glutes and hamstrings. So it's an opportunity for you to really assess what is feeling kind of tight or needs to feel open. And you're using your breath actively, not passively. It's not in the background. Actually, your breath is on the forefront, helping you feel into the stretch and assisting you and noticing where that boundary is and holding just a little bit more. That's when we become more active. And also, that's how we start to really work on our flexibility in a way that's long-term and holistic. Breathe into your hamstrings. Into your glutes and hips, anywhere that's calling attention on your right leg. Take 2 more breaths here. To re-engage yourself with the breath, you can always exhale side out. And then slowly release your heel back down towards the floor. Lift your left leg up towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers right behind your left knee. Rotate your ankle clockwise, counterclockwise. Point your toes. Flex your heel. Rotate clockwise or counterclockwise. You can press that right foot towards the front of the room and activate the core a little bit. And then shift that stretch into the hamstrings. You can bring your leg closer towards you. Remember to invite that active breathing. Breathe into the stretch. See if you prefer to sway your leg towards the left, towards the right, or remain in one position. Breathe into hamstrings, glutes, and hips, even your lower back. Rib cage and belly expands. Few more breath cycles here. And then start to release your leg slowly back down towards the floor. As your heel reaches the floor, one generous breath, inhale here and exhale. Returning to the breath, we'll start to release this position, come to sit and a cross-legged position. As you settle into your seat, you'll notice that one leg is forward. Go ahead and switch it out so it's the opposite leg, just because we tend to favor different sides of our body. We're seeking balance, equilibrium in our bodies. Notice if there's any difference there. Sometimes one side of our hips are more open, sometimes our knees feel different. By all means, if there's ever any sort of injury, just adjust into whatever's comfortable. Now, we'll start to notice us sitting here. Notice your default setting, I suppose, and then shift your attention to your core. And just by strengthening your core, just by activating your core, you'll notice there's already a natural lift in the chest perhaps even to lengthen the spine. We'll notice your shoulders. Let's purposely draw them down. Spine is long, but you don't want to stick out your belly or create any strain on the lower back. You just find that medium there that's comfortable. Your spine is long, core is active, chest is open, shoulders are drawn down. So we're inviting an active seat here. Inhaling and exhaling for the day we've had so far. This is the practice of slowing down. Inhaling and exhaling for this moment. Eyes can be closed or open. And then inhaling and exhaling for the rest of our day. If your eyes are closed, open your eyes. Let's lift our shoulders up towards our ears and then draw them down. Shoulders up towards our ears, we draw them down. I'm purposely bringing my shoulder blades closer together. And then after another round or two, release. Take your hand right behind your head. Notice your elbows, they collapse forward. Or purposely pressing our elbows towards the back of the room. Let's just hold here, noticing what's opening there in the mid-back, upper back, around the shoulders. And now leading through your chest, we're going to twist towards the left and towards the right. You're just switching kind of back and forth. Here, and then as you're twisting towards the left and right, be very purposeful here, leading through the chest, and then twisting as far to the left as you can, while not creating any strain around your neck. Twist all the way to the right as you can. It's a gentle twist here throughout the spine, releasing and opening throughout the lower back, mid-back, and your upper back. Mostly your lower and your mid-back here. The more you press your elbows towards the back, you'll start to affect that upper back as well. And then after a few rounds here, towards the right, forward to the left, we'll release our hands. Inhale, lift our arms up overhead. Interlace our fingers, palms up. More of an upper body stretch here throughout the back, arms, shoulders. Shift towards the left and hold. Back to center, opposite side. Inhale here, exhale, release, drop your hands. Bring both soles of the feet together, shifting the stretch into our lower body. Kind of going back and forth here, upper body, lower body, and then fold down here. About 5 breath cycles. You don't necessarily have to count the breaths, it's more of an estimate. Breathe into the stretch and see where can you fold just a little bit more. Inhale, exhale. Start to release the pose. We'll go ahead and transition into our forward fold. Now you're breathing into your hamstrings here. Knees are bent. You're dropping your torso towards your thighs. Relax your neck. Please be mindful of your neck. Neck and head fall towards the floor. We're going to roll up slowly. Head comes up last. So you're grounding through your heels. Spine lengthens. We're going to come into a mountain pose where our hands frame our hips, palms towards the front. Active mountain pose. If I try to move you, it'd be difficult to do. So take a breath here. Let's inhale here. Exhale, slide all the tension that we're experiencing as a collective, as a society. We inhale here. Exhale. Sigh it out. Let's take our arms up. Interlace your fingers. Palms up towards the ceiling. Let's lift our heels halfway or all the way up. Activate your glutes. Generous breath. And then release your heels. Let's dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Second round, inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Let's sweep our arms up overhead. Ground through your heels. Hands lift up. Hands to your heart center. Generous breath. Release your hands. Extended mountain pose. We're going to lift our arms up. Palms face each other. This is just a gentle stretch here in the body, a gentle activation throughout your body. You're noticing your heels, chest is open, arms are strong. Imagine a breath from your heels all the way up to your fingertips. And then exhale, release. This time let's interlace our fingers. We're drawing our shoulder blades closer together. Generous bend through our knees. Let's fold down to our forward fold. Relax your neck, your head. Elbows extend behind you. Very purposely knit those shoulder blades closer together. Fold here. And then hands to shins. We're going to inhale halfway up. And then exhale, release, soften your neck. Let's sweep our arms up overhead. Noticing left hand press against right hand press against left hand. That's how we practice our presence. Inhale. And exhale, release. Hands frame your hips. Inhale here. And exhale, release. We'll prepare for sun salutations. Ground through your heels. You can always move a little quicker or a little slower. I'll go ahead and cue. We're preparing for 3 sun salutations. Let's lift our arms up overhead. Exhale, bend our knees, fold down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. You're grounding your hands on the mat, right beneath your shoulders. You're exhaling, releasing down towards the floor. Tops of the feet are on the floor. As you lift up into an upward facing dog, shoulders away from your ears, curl your toes, downward facing dog. You can always take a tabletop as an alternative. Take your gaze between your hands, so walk or jump up to your forward fold. Let's sweep our arms up overhead. Hands to your heart center. Inhale here, exhale. Release your hands, arms lift up. Exhale, bend your knees, fold down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, step back, plank pose. Release down towards the floor. Inhale up, be gentle with your lower back. Extending throughout the spine. That upward facing dog is very invigorating. Lift up into your downward facing dog. You're in that upside down V. Take your gaze between your hands, walk or jump up to that forward fold. Let's take our hands to our shins. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, sweep your arms up overhead. Generous breath. Third sun salutation, release your hands. Inhale up. Exhale, bend your knees as you fold down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, step back into your plank pose. Release down towards the floor. Inhale up. Upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Or you can always shift into your tabletop. Remain here. Lift your right leg, bend your knees, stack your hips. Now right knee towards that right elbow, hover. Now lengthen your leg again, bend your knee, stack your hips. Now right knee towards your left elbow. Now press through your palms firmly to lift back up. Bend your knee, stack your hips. Take your generous breath and then release your foot down towards the floor. Deep belly breath, fold. Pull the downward facing dog, opposite side. Lift your left leg, bend your left knee, stack your hips. Now left knee edges towards that left elbow. You hover, lift your core up towards the ceiling. Press through your palms as you lift your leg again. Bend your knee, stack your hips. The left knee now towards that right elbow. Hover, you're pressing through your palms. Core strength, full body strength. Lift your leg, bend your knees, stack your hips. Release your foot back down towards the floor. Release your knees down towards the floor, and then we'll shift back into a child's pose. Collect your breath. Notice the quality of your inhale and your exhale. Deep belly breath. And exhale, start to release your child's pose. We'll transition into a tabletop. Make sure those hands are right beneath your shoulders. We're going to lift our right leg, bend our right knee, stack our hips. Hold. You're activating your glutes, stretching and opening around the quads, opening around that right hip. Now pressing through your palms, both chin and knee shift towards your chest. You're rounding your spine like in cat pose. Hold. Lift your leg, bend your knees, stack your hips. Prepare for balance. You're going to lengthen that leg so it's parallel to the floor. Press through that right palm, lift your left arm up. You can either take your gaze forward or release your gaze down towards the floor. Slide that left shoulder back. Invite a generous breath, and then release your hand, release your knee. Inhale up, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine into your cat pose. Release. Lift your left leg, bend your knee, stack your hips, fold. Breathe into that left hip, left quad. Even your lower back here. Chin and knee move towards your chest. You round your spine as you press through your palms. Hover. And then lengthen your leg, bend your knees, stack your hips. Lengthen your left leg, prepare for balance. Press that left palm into the mat, lift your right arm up. Leg and arm are parallel to the floor. Lift your core up towards the ceiling, draw that right shoulder back. You're holding the pose, but you're not holding your breath. Hand on the mat, knee on the floor. Inhale up, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine into your cat pose. Take a few rounds here. We want to protect our spine. Lower back, mid back, upper back. You're pressing through your palms, noticing the tops of the feet on the floor. Full body awareness here. To the best of your ability, sync up your breath. Inhaling into cow, exhaling into cat. However, you also have the option of holding your cow pose or your cat pose for an extra breath cycle or two. It's all right to inhale and exhale, holding the pose. Sometimes we need to hold a stretch a little longer. Start to come back to a neutral position with your spine. Your hands are still beneath your shoulders and the knees are still hips width distance apart. Look over your right shoulder with the purpose of stretching throughout the left side of your neck, back side of the neck. And then look over your left shoulder with the purpose of stretching the right side of the neck, back side of the neck. Come back to neutral. Look over your right shoulder. This time, drop your head fully. Let gravity pull your head, and now look over your left shoulder. Drop your head. Top of the head is parallel to the floor momentarily, and now look over your right shoulder. Release. Start to lengthen that left leg forward. We're gonna take our right foot onto the mat and twist. So first take your left arm out, hook your elbow right onto your knee, twist towards the right, flex that left foot. You're lengthening your spine. So there's a lot going on here actually. Foot is flexed, core is active. You're twisting as much as you can towards the right. You're lengthening the spine, chin is neutral. Take a comfortable breath here. Deep breathing is difficult for twists. Take that comfortable breath. And then release. Right foot presses against that left thigh. Fold. Flex that left foot for a more intense stretch here. Or you can relax that left foot. And then release. Opposite side, we're gonna lengthen our right leg. Left foot on the floor, take your right arm out. So you're flexing that right foot, you're twisting towards the left, elbow on that knee, you're lengthening the spine. Chin shifts towards your left shoulder. Take a comfortable breath. And then release. Lengthen both legs, palms up towards the floor. Slowly release your chin towards your chest and hover. Drop your head back. And then let your breath relax. Let's inhale here, exhale, sigh it out. Soften your neck, shoulders down the length of your spine. Soften the hips down to the ankles and the toes. Gather your breath, inhale here, exhale. And now bend both knees, soles of the feet on the floor. We're gonna lift our hips as high as we can, hold. And now release your hips back down towards the floor, generous breath. Once again, you're distributing weight around the edges of your feet. You're lifting your hips as high as you can here. It's so important that you lift your hips as high as you can. Drop your hips back down towards the floor, generous breath. Last round, hips up towards the ceiling. You have access to that full diaphragm breathing, meaning your belly can fully expand. Release your hips back down towards the floor. And now press that right foot onto the floor and then take your left ankle to rest on top of that right hip. Weave your left hand between your legs, interlace your fingers behind that right knee and fold. Noticing a natural stretch here, or you can bring your thigh even closer towards you to intensify the stretch. Breathe into the stretch. And then release. Opposite side, right ankle or shin on your thigh. Weave your right hand between your legs. Interlace your fingers behind that thigh. Up to you how much you bring that thigh closer towards your belly or chest. Inhale here, exhale, breathe into the stretch. And release. Bend your knees, round your spine, forehead towards your knee, tuck your chin towards your chest. And then drop your head back. Soles of the feet touch, palms up towards the ceiling. You can also lift your arms up overhead, elbows bent. This is your butterfly pose. You can also rest your hands on your chest, your belly. This is the pose of softening and letting go. You don't have to do very much in this pose. Soften the body, you're releasing down the spine to the hips. Notice your belly can fully expand in this pose. Practice a couple of cycles of breath, deep, long breaths. It does take practice to cultivate long, deep breaths. Just see where you're at, no judgment. Maintaining a long, deep breath is actually not that simple to do. Reacquaint yourself with what that might feel like. Notice ribcage and belly expand. Let's sigh it out. Inhale, exhale, sigh it out. Releasing tension. We'll start to release our pose and shift into our last resting pose, our Shavasana. We'll lengthen our legs, palms face towards the ceiling. Eyes are closed. Take a moment to check in with your breath. You can either practice some deep, full breaths, or you can let your breath rise and fall in its natural rhythm. No control of the breath. There's a lot of benefit to that. And then here in this pose, there's no expectation to do much else. Just soften your body. Soften your forehead and jaw, neck, down to your shoulders. Down the length of your spine, releasing the upper back, mid back, lower back, all the way down to your hips. Behind your knees, ankles and toes. Softening fingertips. Feeling supported by the ground. Start to shift your attention back to your breath, inviting a generous inhale and exhale. Restore some movement to your fingertips. You can invite a full body stretch, lifting your arms up overhead, lifting your toes, and or you can turn your body to the left or to the right. Invite a generous breath. And then after another breath or two, start to make your way up to your seat. You can sit in a cross-legged position or on your ankles. Lengthen your spine. Draw your shoulders down. Eyes closed or eyes open. We'll take a moment to appreciate that. We're welcoming our breath. We're welcoming our experience. Let's take our hands in front of our heart center. Despite an intentional breath, inhale here. Exhale. And in the tradition of yoga, the highest in me sees the highest in you.